let me just start by saying I cannot believe it's been a year. So I apologize for not being a regular poster. A lot has happened in this last year. I had a severe neck injury that I needed an epidural for and physical therapy. I've been writing and publishing books left and right. I think I'm on book 8 that I'm writing right now, and my first couple of books have been published, which took a lot of time, energy, and effort. And there's so many changes to my planning system. I was watching a couple of my old videos just to see where we left off, and it's funny when I say my system doesn't change, which is true, except there have been some major changes, including the planner I'm in, the size I'm in, and all of that. So let's discuss it. I have bright pink magenta hair, so excuse my nails. I just re-dyed my hair, so anytime I touch my hair, it transfers onto my nails until I can rub it off with rubbing alcohol or nail polish. So I apologize for my pink nails. You're just gonna have to ignore it. So I am now in a half leather disc, totally different than my personal wide leather, and I do miss my leather Moterm covers immensely, but the system had to change for work reasons for my author business, and it was a major shift, so I had to make adjustments. So this is a vegan leather Jane's Agenda disc cover, wrap cover in shell, and I'm using, what pen is this? A Lavender pen. I have one for every season, so this is like my summery one. I don't do anything special with my pockets. These are all my stickers on the side because you don't have the big back pocket with the Jane's Agenda covers, and you have little corner pockets here that I use for notes and receipts and stuff. This is my collaged painted cover for the summer. And the system has shifted. I've added a major component to my system. So I'll just run through these. These are painted tabs that painted dividers that I made. Here's all of my information. I made these all, and then I have a tab puncher, and I cover them in packing tape so that it kind of laminates the tabs. So this is my task tab, or my master task tab. These are all tasks that need to happen that don't have a timeline, but that need to be recorded and put in the system so that I don't forget that at some point those need to happen. My personal tab, this is all of my personality tests. So I'm an INFJ, 4-wing 5, and like all of the explanations of those. And then this is diet stuff for my husband and for me, and my daughter's meds and that kind of thing. Date night, a list of things we need to watch on date night. The scheduling tab is my most important tab. This is where not my most important tab anymore. This used to be my most important tab. This is all my daily pages. So I've shown you the weekly meal planner before. I've shown you the weekly plan sheet and review sheet before. Last month I was in similar pages to the Annie Plans printable pages. These are daily, same layout, similar layout. I put my events and kind of important things happening up in the priorities box, my bills in the notes box, and then all my tasks organized by work or personal, and then the schedule here. But in late July, I shifted to Franklin Covey sheets, day on 2 pages. For a couple reasons. One, I needed space to record notes and important things happening. I'm doing a lot of business study and business reading for my author business. I'm trying to close down my coaching business. In fact, I've done a lot of it already, and I'm just focusing on the author business, which is super exciting and super terrifying all in one, because being an author is an incredible amount of work, and it's not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. So I needed more space to write notes and stuff, like this, for instance. So same daily layout. I'm using the Franklin Covey. I can prioritize my tasks if I have a certain amount of tasks that need to be done first. And then my notes, these are where I put my events for the day. And then my bills down here. It's a lot. It's now double the amount of pages for my planner. But it's just a new season that I needed this new shift. So here we go with more notes. So you get the gist. I also needed a change with the highlighter. So I'm no longer using my favorite color, because I just needed a change, so I shifted from purple. My menu planning, which you've seen, but this was going through my fridge and my freezer to tell us what we needed to eat this week, or eat for lunches this week, so that the food didn't go bad. We are so bad about that. So this week we were on top of it. We're going out of town for my brother's wedding next week, and we wanted to eat down our freezer and our fridge because my in-laws are house sitting for us, which is so stressful, because my father-in-law is the most critical man I've ever met in my life, and he is staying in our house, and he is going to be so mean, cruel, and critical. But there's nothing I can do about it. So we wanted to eat down our fridge. I make notes and things on Post-its, and then I move them into my system. And I can move them around if they don't happen. Like these should have been moved, but they haven't been. We just got a new chinchilla, so her dust bath schedule's in my planner now, and all of that. So you've seen daily pages, you know what they look like. We have to overhaul, clean, and organize our house before my in-laws come. So this is our list that we have to get done this weekend. And on Monday, my husband's taking Monday off, thankfully. He is a hoarder, so we have to do a lot to get our house organized and nice and neat because of his hoarding. But he's motivated right now because he doesn't want his dad to get upset. Oh, I forgot to say, these are 2-inch discs because the planner is now 2 planners in one. It's my work business planner and my daily planner in one book. And so these are huge discs, 2 inches. You can get 3 inches, but 2 inches are fine. These are metal discs from Levenger. They have the best quality discs. And I also use I print these pages out myself like I did before. And I use the Levenger punch, so much better than the Happy Planner punch. It's just, like the pages turn beautifully. So it's the best punch you can get. This is a Jane's Agenda page marker for my daily, for where I am daily. So I'll skip this. I have August in here today. I'm taking out July and putting in September. So I've told you guys this before. This is a collage that I did and painting. This is future planning. So my brother's wedding, I need a hair appointment for my daughter and myself. So these will get moved in later in August, but also in September. This is an event that happens in March for my book covers, and so that's on the back for way in the future. The next tab is my ideal life. This is part of the work planner. So the business planner that I'm using is the Sarah Cannon's HB90 system, and it was very similar to the system I use for my coaching, and so it was a natural transition. And I took both of her courses. I bought the planner 4 years ago, and I didn't do her course, and I couldn't understand how the planner was supposed to work. It was really confusing, and it didn't make sense to me, so I wasted that money. Well, then I took her 2 courses. I took Publish and Thrive and then the HB90 course, and she explained the planner so thoroughly. It made total sense. It clicked. So if you do want to try the HB90 system, I would take the course, in my opinion. So this is Ideal Life, which I do for my coaching, but also it's part of the HB90. So I needed a routine because my routines had fallen off. So this is my ideal day, what happens at what time. And I have kind of morning, daytime, and evening. And so I can just go down this list and make sure that I'm doing everything. And in the morning, it's my emotional, mental, spiritual support time. So dress and put on my makeup. I haven't been doing my makeup, and I felt really low and bad about my appearance. I'm now almost 45 this year, and I've really let my appearance go. And so it's made me really depressed and not feel good about myself. So I have set an intention to start putting on my makeup daily and do really creative, fun stuff with my makeup. It hasn't happened yet, but it's coming. I'm working up to it. Breakfast, affirmations, visualization, business reading or reading in general, but not self-care reading, like craft reading for my writing skills and business primarily. Journal and gratitude, which I can do on these daily pages now. Prayer and ritual time right before I start work. And then I don't have my writing blocks and stuff on here because those go into my pages. Like today I have 2 writing blocks. Those go in my daily pages. And then in the evening, prep for tomorrow, which I'm really bad about, which means like go through my list, go through my work planner, make sure that I've wrapped up anything. Exercise, which I'm horrible at, but I need to get back into it. I'm on a medication that makes me lose muscle mass, so I need to join a gym. I need to start doing strength training and walking more. And so the time I would do that is between 5 and 5:30 and half an hour each day. I need to start doing that. My shower, skincare, and my teeth, brushing my teeth happens at 9 because that's the only time it can happen. And then reading self-care is at 9:20 to 10:30. So that's my routines, and I've been using this for the last month, and it's been really helpful to make sure that I get every support thing that helps my well-being done in the day. And then I have written out my ideal day, and I read the sentence and then close my eyes and visualize each sentence, and I go down the list. And this is like future projection. This is when I hire my friend as my operations director. This is like when I'm actively creating a store on Shopify. This is like big vision, really high level stuff that I visualize every day in my visualization time. These are ideal day questions, surveys for Sarah Cannon and her program. This is from the HB90. The course is pretty rigorous. I think it's a week long, but you learn a lot. So vision, this is also part of the HB90, but also part of my coaching. So questions about your vision, what you want in your life, what you want in your business, but then also a vision board. Now I have, and you do, so this is a quarterly planner, the HB90, and so you do these vision boards quarterly. I also have a vision book that it's like a little photo album, like a 4x3 photo album that I use, and I have images and my vision in there that I use for my coaching. But this is similar, and I use it for HB90, so I've just transferred stuff. This is all writing related, book related. This is like mood related, how I, like the rainbow black is like my style, and then vision. This is my logo for one of my pen names. I started a second pen name this last month, and so I'm going to be juggling two pen names, but they're two different. They're the same subgenre of writing, but one is contemporary and one is paranormal. So I've decided to separate them, which means twice the amount of writing, twice the amount of work, twice the amount of marketing. But I think that's best for all of the book ideas and the story ideas that I've had. I'm going to flip through most of this. Time, so part of the HB90 system is knowing where your time goes. Tasks, time, energy, and so that's what this is. And I do one for each quarter, so this is the summer part of the quarter, and it'll change. This is the quarter, how many task blocks. So Sarah Cannon uses task blocks, half an hour task blocks, to figure out how much time certain tasks and projects take for you to complete. And so this is how many task blocks I have each week of the quarter. This is a huge way of looking at like a high level of the next 3 months. This is my brother's wedding, so it's been crossed out. These are days where I have a lot or a little amount of time on these certain days. So it's awesome. And my business is quarterly. It's always been quarterly. And so this is just a natural transition. I think I've shown you guys this before. This is also part of the HB90 system. Daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly tasks, reoccurring tasks, and how much time, how many task blocks they take. The next is goals. So that's part of the HB90 system, is really extensive goals. And so this is brainstorming those. And a lot of people get messed up with the HB90 system when they think of smaller goals. So for me, how I make it work is I have a high level, large aspect of my business. So goal 1 is my empire, like the writing part, how I'm building more books and writing more books. Goal 2 is the operations of my business. So writing my newsletter, doing social media, getting my books ready for publishing, like all those little tasks, like formatting my books and stuff. That's in operations. And then goal 3 is household, like cleaning, organizing. I'm going to be doing a lot of goal 3 household tasks this weekend to clean and get the house organized for my in-laws. And so these goals show up a lot in my plan, in the actual HB90 planner. This is just the pre-prep work, the planning work to get to the HB90. Projects, so more task block planning. So I have 50 to 35 task blocks a week, depending on the week. And then this is brainstorming different projects in each goal, in each big picture focuses, I guess is what I would say. And then this is recurring tasks, so daily planning, weekly planning, financials, weekly basket, business study, quarterly planning with the HB90. So this is amazing for book writing, but you can use it for anything, right? You don't have to be a writer to use HB90. Many people use HB90 for their work, business, personal lives that aren't writing. But this is really amazing and helpful to me, where each book or each phase of the book, I can track how many task blocks they actually took so that I can plan ahead of time. So, this is last quarter's. And so to edit one of my full-length books, I know exactly how many task blocks it takes. So when I write the next book this quarter, I can estimate these task blocks and be right on target with how much time it actually takes to complete a goal, a task, or a project. This has been life-changing for me. Oftentimes people underestimate how much time it takes to complete a project, a goal, or a task, when in reality it takes way more. And so I can take these numbers from last quarter and then translate them into this quarter and be more accurate with how much time things take. And then I track it here. So editing pass 1 on a novella took me 40 task blocks. Doing one pass on edits for my full length took me 58 task blocks. So, and then past 2 on a full length novel is 10 more task blocks. So it just helps. And then this is milestones. So things you want to hit each month of each quarter for each goal. So in Business Empire, I want to write Stolen Heart in July. That didn't happen. I'm actually writing it in August, and then writing the next book in September. I put August, but I need to move it to September. Same with operations. My next book releases August 14th, and it's August 2nd right now. And so pre-launch work, like reaching out to Instagrammers and all of that, and then launching it, actually putting up the files, getting it ready to publish, promoting it on Facebook in different groups and that sort of thing. And household, I didn't do milestones, but I should have done milestones for each month of the quarter. Future, so this is like future planning. So in 2005, these are when I published my books and which book is published. So Foreseen Fate was in January. Rebellious Harmony was in, or Foreseen Fate was in February. Rebellious Harmony was in May. Light of Day in August. Reignited Flame in November. And I write a year in advance. So I'm publishing these books a year later. So this is really helpful. And then 2026, what happens. And then these depraved books, I don't know exactly when they're going to be published, so I have them on post-its so I can move them around until I know what the actual publishing schedule will be for them, and then I'll write them in. And this is 2027, and these are the books that are going to be published here. I haven't added the second pen name books in here yet because I haven't figured out or mapped those out yet. And then 2028, what's coming in 2028. So I plan 4 to 5 years in advance. These are my routines that I did previously. Or not routines, but like tasks that need to happen daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. I showed you. I think this is in the wrong section. I'll move that later. These are kind of routines, things that need to happen daily, admin, what that has to happen weekly, weekly routine, weekly review, weekly tasks, monthly routines, quarterly routines, yearly tasks, like my goal setting for the year, etc. And then this is the actual HB90 planner. So at the beginning of each month, you write out what for your focuses, what your goals are for each focus, a monthly calendar. And I think you've seen in the past, I don't normally do monthly planning, but I now need to track monthly for cover reveals, for newsletters when I send them out. I'm in a mastermind group with 2 other authors, and we keep each other accountable to our goals and our focuses. And so my meetings go in here. And then this is what a week looks like in the HB90 business work planner. So my each goal, business empire, business operations, household, and then reoccurring tasks. And each week for each project, so Depraved Refuge or Stolen Heart, those are the ones I was writing this particular week. And this isn't this week, this is week 1 of this quarter. And then as I do them, I highlight them. So I was a little over ambitious this week, and I was feeling worn down and run down, maybe a little burnt out and tired, because the last 2 months I've been under tight deadline, and I pushed so hard in the writing and book world, and now I had to recover and make up for that, and I wasn't ready to move on to the next book. I was just really fatigued. So that's what that is. Oh, and then I forgot to show you this. So these are the task blocks. So each, from here, I move the tasks from this map to this, and then I keep track of 30-minute task blocks for each aspect of these things, so that I know how many task blocks I used for the week, and also how long certain things took, and I color code the days. So I can look back at this and I can see that Thursday, I think, was my green color this week. And I could see that was one of my most productive days. And then that was Thursday, and this is Friday. It was actually another really productive day by color. I can see that. And this was when I came up with the second pen name too. So this shifted a little bit over here. I put important events for up here, so I know that these are going to affect my productivity. So up here I put one of my manuscripts was due to my second editor, events happening in the week, and then like important notes. So this is the week 4th of July, and my husband was off, which means I wouldn't be working that week, or not that week, the day. And then these are the task blocks and how they actually happened. So I had 50 to 35 task blocks. I used 27 of them. So I was over ambitious with the amount of task blocks I had for the week. And then this is the weekly plan. I don't really use this. I just transfer what was on my Google Calendar to this. I send my newsletters every other Thursday, so that's what the sticker is. And then the events that happen during the week. And it just gives you kind of a broad overview of the week. A work in progress, so like the manuscript that I'm working on at that week, and then any notes for the week, and habits. I don't track habits. It's not something I do, but it's there for you to use. I use the daily version of HB90, and this is A5 that I print down to half letter. And so important events happening during the day here, and then tasks from this list and this task blocks chart go here. Another snapshot of the day, just big events that I keep track of, like chiropractic. And then this is where you put task blocks used for the day. You'll see that later. And I was using this section for notes, but I'm using it differently now, and I'll show you that later. I take notes on my mood, mental health, and physical health because I've been having neck issues and other things. One of my medications make me incredibly exhausted 3 days after I take it, so it wipes me out for the day, so I keep track of that. So these are the daily pages for the week. Like this, I paid for 12 covers, and the person I paid them to, and I normally do how much, and I spent like $3,000 on covers, and that's for the second pen name. And then at the end of every week, you have a weekly review, and this is different than the weekly review I do for my daily planner pages. This is from her HB90 system, so I fill this out, and it just gives me a different perspective of my week from when I do my weekly planning and my daily pages. So this week was pretty productive. All of the highlighted in pink means I've accomplished it, and once again, like I'm always putting off the household project. So I need to stop doing that, and I need to get on to the household stuff. I don't like the fact that I'm spending my next 3 days overhauling the entire house because I didn't do this. And so I'll tell you what I'm doing to fix that. So this is what the week looked like for daily task blocks. This is a weekly overview, and I mark on the days what the colors are, and then I use these colored pens based on the color to mark my task blocks, so I can have a big picture view of how much time things actually take. So this week was a little more busy with things, and so daily pages, and here I'm recording the task blocks actually used for the day. I started doing heavy amounts of business studies, so I started putting that in the bottom here. Certain days are way more productive than others. I wasn't writing this week because I was still burnt out, but I was preparing for the second pen name. I was fixing the outline. I was in contact with my mastermind group. I was still doing things. I just wasn't actively writing. So here we go, weekly view again. Sending out my newsletter, what the focus of that newsletter is. That was what that was. More productive days, more notes for the day, or kind of events, things that I need to mark on top. This was last week, and this was this week. or no, the week prior. This was last week. And then August, so we do it again for August. There's 3 months and a quarter. This is what my month looks like for August, my brother's wedding, and then ARC's going out, release day, and my mastermind group and my newsletter. Yeah, so it's a busy month with a release happening. This is this week, and I've done some of these things. I just haven't highlighted them yet. And this week has been good. I use these re-sticky Avery tabs to mark this week, so I can just flip to it when I need to. And then the weekly you've seen, and this is what I do differently here. So I changed it on Tuesday, and it made a big change. So my daily tasks that I need to get done in the day, task blocks used for the day, business study, but also what I've started to do now that I'm writing, now that I'm actually drafting books again, where my manuscript starts down here, and then these are 2 writing sessions in the day. So each writing session is 2 hours, and I track 10-hour writings, 10-minute writing sprints, and how many words I do in those 10 minutes, and the total amount of words written for that chapter. Right now I'm under deadline because I put off last month, so now I'm really heavily under deadline this month to get 100,000 words written in a month. And so I'm doing 2 chapters a day on this manuscript, Stolen Heart. But next month I'm going to do 1 writing session for my paranormal pen name, and then 1 writing session for my contemporary pen name. So I'm going to be balancing the 2 pen names. But right now, this month, I'm really behind, and I'm doing 2 chapters. I'm trying to do 2 chapters a day. Obviously, that didn't happen. So here I did 2 chapters. So yeah, so the system is kind of, you can adjust it and tailor it for you. Friday I didn't work. I took the day off, so that's why this is blank. And then today I didn't write it out, but I'm going to after this video. So I have another page marker from Jane's agenda, and then all of the other months are blank because I haven't gotten to them yet. And then you do a quarterly review at the end of the quarter, and these are future planning like I do for my daily planner. This is future planning for the work stuff. Books that need to be written for certain months and certain quarters. And then I've shown you these sections before, but I'll show them to you again. This is my manifest section. And these are my yearly goals, my future goals, like projecting out into the future. One of the business books I read said to write your eulogy. So this is my eulogy. It'll give you a big vision of your life's purpose and what you want to accomplish in your life, how you want to be seen by others, how you want to present yourself in the world. So that's what this is. This is a vellum, hold on to your vision. This is from Jane's agenda. They sent me the wrong size, but I liked it, so I kept it, and it's in here. These are my affirmations that I read every day. So this is writing, readers and community, receiving, highest self. I think I need to add health affirmations in here. Building my empire, my author empire. Wealth. And then I think I want to add a page of health affirmations because my health has been really challenged in this last year. It's better now. It's getting better. But yeah, I think I need to do that. This you've seen before. This is my empire tab. So these are monetary targets I want to make. I write in my paranormal pen name, I write vampires, fallen angels, gods, and so this angel wings for my angel stuff. My word for the last couple of years has been empire, so this is the Empress card, and this is another drawing of an empress. So I like those for my kind of year and focus. This is my value system and my mission for my business, why I'm in business, what's the long vision for the long game future vision for the business. These are business numbers, amounts that I want to have in each of my bank accounts. These are notes from business leaders. This is demographics for the writing community. what my brands stand for, like statements for my brand, my 2 pen name brands, how to acquire readers, stages of purchase for readers and customers, release schedule, emails I want to write, tasks to do on each release day. So release day, I take all the time off. I don't write during release day. All I'm doing is all of this. So like posting on social media, each social media account, sending my newsletter, changing things on my website, changing the coming soon page. It's a lot. It's like my busiest day each quarter is a release day. So that's what this is. This is a plan for a year on what each newsletter is going to cover. So like the topics. So these were the pre-orders for my previous books. And then the release of each book, pre-order and then release. These are the launch plans for each of my books. And then more book launching. Back matter, it's like the stuff you have in the back of the book that helps readers buy more books. And so that's what this is. This is what to do when you have certain amount of money. So if I have $300, I need to do book bubs. If I have 1,000, I need to run ads, etc. And this is more notes from business experts. This was before I had the daily pages, by the way. And then these are courses that I've paid for. I buy a lot of courses and then I do them slowly over time. So this is me keeping track of the courses I've paid for that I need to make sure that I do and maximize my investment that I've made, because I'm really bad about buying the courses but not spending time to actually do the courses. I did Sarah Cannon's Publish and Thrive, but I'm still going through all the modules here. Inkers Con is a writing conference that happens, a virtual writing conference that happens every year, and there's classes in that I need to do every year. And then this is the reference tab. So in the HB90 planner, you get a lot of blank pages of different aspects of the planner, and so that's what this is if I need to Xerox them or just use them. And then my notes tab, and this is packed right now with notes. So closing down my coaching business, all the steps that I need to take to close down my coaching business, writing ideas, trademarks that I need to register for, things I need to do when I get large inheritance checks each year. So things that I like earmarking. So we need a new fence. So part of that inheritance check is to get a new fence. Landscaping, we hired a landscaper, but then with the market downturn, I put that on hold. But these are plants that I want for landscaping. I had a bug. Like, part of me was like, why am I spending so much money on Etsy buying planner stickers? I need to learn how to make my own. So I made a list of all of the planner stickers I would use for my system if I could make my own. But my brain just doesn't work like that. I don't know why. And so I don't know if I'll ever get to creating my own stickers. It's ideal. I would love to. Then I can control the look, the style, and what they represent for me in my planner. But man, using the Cricut seems really complicated, even though I'm super technical. There's a block there for me. It seems super complicated. And then someone uses a silhouette, and I could buy a silhouette if I wanted to. It just seems like a lot for me right now. This is website and website needs and changes. I just got my website designed by a professional designer, and it was so flippin' expensive, but it looks really, really good. And then back matter edits I want to make to each book. So this note is important because this is what I'll be doing in this next book that I'm putting together next week for my publication on the 14th. I'm really worried about the economic downturn and what the government is doing right now. And so this is me planning ahead for what happens when everything goes sideways. I really want to swear right now, but I'm being polite and I'm not swearing. But when everything goes to chaos and goes sideways. My in-laws lost their home in the Palisades fire in January, I think. we lost our home. So these are photos I need to do for her to replace at least some of what they've lost. It was devastating. It's still really hard on us, and so we're still recovering. We owned the house, but they lived in it for nearly 50 years, and losing their house was so hard, and we're still picking up the pieces. They're gonna move up here to be with us instead of my sister-in-law in LA, and so that's a huge change, huge shift. I need to get my sewing machine serviced, so it's a note of where I can get it serviced in town. This was notes on what was working in my planner, what wasn't working in my planner when I was moving to discs. When I was moving to discs, moving to 2-inch discs, and how I would effectively combine these two systems together. So that's what this is. I still haven't, there's certain things I haven't done, like dropping the ball on household admin and cleaning, working out and walking, and financial management for the businesses, and a little bit for the personal, and my weekly basket. This is how to do content research for my author business, how to look up hashtags from other authors and stuff. And then my daughter's taking oboe in class in school next year. And so this is all the notes on renting an oboe and the reeds and all of that. And then we're going out of town for my brother's wedding on Thursday, so packing on Wednesday. So this is my packing list that I've started to make the last 2 weeks so that I don't forget anything important. And then this is more business notes, what the vision is for each. No, this is what the vision is for me as a leader, as a business leader, and who my mentors are, and all of that. And then this is notes for what I need to do to edit my manuscript. Because of my neck injury, I don't type my books anymore, I dictate them. And so it takes a lot more editing and revising to revise and edit my dictation because I'm not typing. And so this is notes on what I need to do for my edits, blank pages, and just more sticky notes and list inserts. And then these are all the stickers that go in my daily planner, and more stickers. So this is a slash pocket. So that's it. I shared everything, which is amazing. It probably took an hour. But yeah, this is my half letter disc-bound planner now. Daily pages in my daily planner. Oh, I do, so I have my HB90 daily, and then I have this daily, and there is some crossover between what I write on my daily HB90 pages and what I write here in my daily task list. But it helps me make sure that it gets done, having it in both places. I used to hate redundancy. It just felt dumb to me. But now, I don't know, it's working for my brain. I'm getting stuff done. I'm far more productive now that I'm using both systems. I'm getting so much done, even though certain days didn't seem like it in the planner. I am truly getting a lot done each quarter. This is my star to remind me to do my ideal routines. So I do this every morning. So yeah, that was my planner. I'm so happy to be back. I hope you all are doing well. This year has been just a whirlwind. I'm so glad that we're in a good place now. My health has improved. My in-laws are in a new apartment, and they're looking at houses when they house sit up here for us to buy for them, and with the insurance money. And my business, my author business, is doing fantastic. So a lot of work ahead, lots to do, but happy to share it with you, happy to be back. And in the comments, why don't you tell me what you've been up to in this last year, or how your system has changed, because I wasn't intending for my system to change, but it sure did. So I will be back, hopefully more regularly than I have been. Have a good weekend, have a good month. Happy to be here.